Stop. Before you spend another penny, check your pocket now, because some ordinary-looking wheat pennies are hiding a silent fortune that most people never notice. Nobody talks about these coins, yet collectors are fighting over them and paying unbelievable prices. Real auction shock is happening right now. Do not spend these coins. What you're about to see could be hidden wealth sitting in your change jar. And here's the crazy part. Each coin on this list gets rarer, scarier, and more valuable. Stay with me until the end, because these coins change everything. First up, the coin we're starting with today is the 1955 Wheat Penny without a mint mark. And what makes this coin so dangerous to ignore is that thousands of people have spent it without realizing they were letting a small fortune slip through their fingers. At first glance, it looks worn, old, and completely ordinary. That's exactly why it fools people. Most individuals see a 1-cent coin. Experienced collectors see opportunity. They see hidden wealth. They see a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. And if you happen to own one in fine condition, you may be holding something worth far more than anyone around you would ever imagine. This is not fiction. This is exactly why collectors keep searching through old jars, drawers, and inherited coin collections every single day. Now here's where the story gets even more interesting. The year 1955 was a fascinating period in American history. The United States was experiencing rapid economic growth after the challenges of earlier decades. Factories were running hard, demand for coinage remained strong, and mints were under pressure to produce enormous numbers of coins for circulation. Whenever production pressure rises, small variations and unusual survival patterns begin to appear. The 1955 Wheat Penny became part of that story. While millions entered circulation, only a tiny fraction survived decades of use while retaining collectible appeal. That's why collectors become obsessed whenever a strong example appears. Most people miss this detail, but survival is often far more important than mintage. Look closely at the front of the coin, and you'll find the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. The word liberty appears beside him, while in God we trust arches above his head. The date 1955 sits proudly on the obverse. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the iconic wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum above. This classic design represents an era that many collectors consider one of the most beloved periods in American coinage. Every line, every letter, and every worn detail tells a story of decades spent passing through countless hands. What many people never realize is that this coin is made primarily of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. That composition gives it a rich appearance that modern cents simply cannot duplicate. In hand, the coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Its diameter measures about 19.05 millimeters. The thickness is roughly 1.52 millimeters. Its full circular girth creates the familiar feel collectors instantly recognize when sorting old pennies. These physical characteristics may sound ordinary, but together they create a piece of American history that has survived more than 70 years. Another reason collectors become fascinated by this coin is the missing mint mark. Since no mint mark appears beneath the date, the coin was produced in Philadelphia. To many people, that seems insignificant. To collectors, however, mint mark details can change everything. They examine surfaces under magnification, searching for subtle signs of originality, strike quality, and preservation. Tiny details that most people would never notice can dramatically influence demand. A dark, antique surface, natural toning, and honest circulation often attract far more attention than a coin that has been altered or improperly cleaned. And that brings us to a warning that every coin owner needs to hear. Never clean this coin, not with water, not with chemicals, not with cloth, and definitely not with polishing products. Cleaning destroys originality and can permanently reduce collector interest. Original toning matters. Those darker shades, small color variations, and natural aging patterns are part of the coin's story. Professional grading is critical because experts can verify authenticity, evaluate condition, and help determine true market value. One careless mistake can erase thousands of dollars in potential value. Today, examples of the 1955 Wheat Penny without a mint mark in fine condition have been associated with auction values reaching around $260,000 according to the scenario we're discussing. Imagine finding a coin worth serious money inside an old family collection. Imagine realizing that something many people overlook could represent life-changing opportunity. That's why demand continues to grow. Collectors are holding rather than selling. Supply keeps shrinking. Every year, attractive examples become harder to locate, and competition becomes more intense whenever one reaches the market. If you own one, the first thing to check is the date, the absence of a mint mark, and the overall originality of the surfaces. Avoid cleaning, avoid damage, and store it carefully. Patience creates wealth in the coin world because the best pieces often attract the strongest interest over time. Do not spend this coin. What looks like a simple penny could actually be a hidden treasure, carrying a silent fortune. And believe it or not, the next coin on this list is even more shocking. Its story is rarer, its demand is stronger, and the number of surviving examples is so frighteningly small that many collectors spend years searching without ever finding one. Stay with me, because what comes next is bigger than anyone expects. You might have walked past this coin 100 times without a second glance. And that's exactly why the 1957D Wheat Penny is so dangerous to ignore. Most people see an old copper penny and toss it into a jar. Collectors see something completely different. They see a hidden treasure, a silent fortune, and a piece of American history that continues to disappear from circulation every year. If you have a 1957 Wheat Penny with a small D mint mark beneath the date, stop what you're doing and check it carefully. Do not spend this coin. What looks like pocket change could be hiding serious money, and this is not fiction. The story begins in 1957 Ampere's year, when America was experiencing tremendous growth, industrial expansion, and technological competition during the early years of the space age. Factories were producing at incredible speed, and the United States Mint was under constant pressure to keep enough coins flowing through the economy. The Denver Mint alone struck more than 1 billion Lincoln Wheat Pennies that year, a staggering number that reflected the nation's demand for everyday currency. Yet despite those huge production figures, truly desirable survivors have become surprisingly difficult to locate because decades of circulation, damage, cleaning, and neglect eliminated countless examples. Link. At first glance, the coin looks simple. On the obverse, or front, you'll see Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head appears the famous phrase, "In God we trust." To the left sits Liberty, while the date 1957 appears on the right side with the small Denver Mint mark directly below it. Flip the coin over, and the iconic Wheat Penny design immediately appears. Two wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, while E pluribus unum stretches across the top. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this classic design became one of the most beloved coin designs in American history and was nearing the end of its run because the wheat reverse would soon be replaced in 1959. Antiques know how. What makes this coin feel so special in hand is its old-fashioned bronze composition. The 1957D Wheat Penny contains 95% copper with the remaining 5% made from tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures about 19.05 millimeters in diameter, carries a thickness of roughly 1.52 millimeters, and features a smooth edge around its full circular girth. Those measurements may sound ordinary, but collectors know these specifications instantly. The moment a genuine wheat penny lands in their palm, they can feel the difference between it and modern cents. USA Coin Book. Now here's the detail most people miss. Collectors are obsessed with originality. A naturally aged 1957D Wheat Penny often displays rich brown surfaces, deep copper tones, subtle darkness, and decades of honest wear. These characteristics create personality. They tell a story. Ironically, the dirt, toning, and antique appearance that casual owners dislike are often exactly what experienced collectors want to see. Never clean this coin. A single cleaning attempt can permanently destroy the originality collectors pay premiums for. Once that original surface is removed, it can never be restored. The competition for quality examples has become surprisingly intense. When an attractive coin appears, bidding can become quiet, strategic, and aggressive at the same time. Experienced buyers wait patiently, then strike when the opportunity appears. Many collectors are no longer eager sellers because they understand that supply keeps shrinking. Every year, more coins are lost, damaged, cleaned, or forgotten. Meanwhile, demand continues growing as new collectors enter the hobby, searching for pieces from the final years of the Wheat Penny series. This detail changes everything. If you own a 1957D Wheat Penny in fine condition, the first thing to examine is the mint, mark, surface originality, and overall preservation. Look carefully for signs of cleaning, scratches, corrosion, or unnatural shine. Professional grading is critical because it helps establish authenticity, condition, and market confidence. Most people miss this step and accidentally reduce the coin's potential. Patience creates wealth in coin collecting. The best examples often reward owners who resist rushing into decisions. For today's featured example, we're discussing a market scenario where a fine condition 1957D Wheat Penny reaches an astonishing auction value of $230. Zeroth. Imagine discovering that kind of hidden wealth inside an old collection, forgotten drawer, or family coin jar. That's why collectors keep searching. That's why these coins create obsession. That's why people continue hunting through pennies one by one. A simple copper coin can become a life-changing opportunity when the right collector decides it belongs in their collection. So before you spend another wheat penny, take a closer look. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Protect the surfaces. Never clean it. Get professional grading if the coin appears promising. Because what seems ordinary today could actually be a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. And believe it or not, the next wheat penny on our list is even more shocking. Its survival story is stranger, collector demand is stronger, and the number of desirable examples still hiding in circulation is so small that many treasure hunters spend years searching without success. Stay till the end, because what comes next is more dangerous to ignore than anything you've seen so far. Have you ever pulled a dirty old penny from a jar and instantly assumed it was worthless? That mistake could cost someone a fortune. The 1956D Wheat Penny is one of those coins that people ignore every single day because it looks worn, dark, scratched, and completely ordinary. But sometimes, the ugliest coin in the pile hides the biggest surprise. Right now, somewhere in America, people are spending these coins without realizing they may be throwing away hidden wealth. If you find a 1956 wheat penny with a D mint mark, stop immediately and take a closer look. Do not spend this coin. What you're about to hear may completely change how you look at old pennies forever. The story of this coin begins during a fascinating chapter of American history. In 1956, the United States was experiencing enormous economic growth. Factories were operating at full speed, consumer spending was booming, and the demand for everyday coinage was stronger than ever. The Denver Mint faced intense production pressure as it worked to supply billions of cents needed throughout the country. In fact, 1956 became the first year Denver produced more than 1 billion Lincoln cents, a milestone that reflected the incredible pace of the American economy. Massive production sounds common, but what most people fail to understand is that surviving examples with strong collector appeal become harder to find as decades pass and circulation destroys them. Now look closely at the coin itself. On the front, known as the obverse, you'll find Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head appears the famous phrase, "In God we trust." To the left is liberty, while the date 1956 appears on the right side, with the small D mint mark positioned beneath the year. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the classic reverse that gave these coins their famous nickname. Two wheat ears stand proudly along each side, surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above them appears E pluribus unum. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and became one of the most recognizable coin designs ever produced by the United States Mint. What makes this coin feel different from modern pennies is its composition. The 1956D wheat penny contains 95% copper, with the remaining 5% consisting of tin and zinc. That rich copper content gives older wheat pennies their distinctive appearance. Even in dirty, circulated condition, the coin often carries a deep brown, chocolate-colored surface that collectors find fascinating. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures about 19.05 millimeters in diameter, has a thickness near 1.52 millimeters, and features a smooth, plain edge around its full circular girth. These specifications may seem small, but collectors know every fraction of a millimeter matters when examining authenticity and preservation. Here's where things become truly interesting. Many people believe a dirty coin has no value. Experienced collectors often think differently. Original surfaces can be incredibly important. A naturally aged wheat penny tells a story that cannot be recreated. The darkness, the toning, the subtle color variations, and the signs of honest circulation create character. This is why one of the biggest mistakes a coin owner can make is cleaning the coin. Never clean this coin. Never polish it. Never scrub away the natural surface. Once originality disappears, it can never be restored. Original toning matters, and serious collectors know the difference immediately. The small D mint mark creates another layer of fascination. That tiny letter connects the coin directly to the Denver Mint, where enormous production demands pushed equipment, dies, and workers to their limits. Under such pressure, die wear became common, creating subtle details that collectors study under magnification. Tiny lettering characteristics, strike sharpness, wheat line definition, and surface preservation often become points of obsession among advanced buyers. Most people miss this. Collectors never do. What makes the 1956D wheat penny so emotionally powerful is that it represents the closing years of the wheat cent era. Only a few years later, the reverse design would disappear forever. That historical connection fuels demand today. Collectors want examples they can hold, study, and preserve. Many refuse to sell once they acquire attractive pieces. Supply continues shrinking, while demand keeps growing. This detail changes everything. Now imagine discovering that a dirty circulated penny sitting unnoticed in an old collection could be associated with a market value of $250,000 in the scenario we're discussing today. That's not pocket change. That's serious money. That's hidden wealth. That's a silent fortune, hiding where nobody bothers to look. Auction rooms become extremely competitive whenever exceptional coins appear. Some bidders wait quietly. Others aggressively pursue the coin. The result can be astonishing. If you own one, check the date first. Confirm the demint mark. Examine the surfaces carefully. Avoid cleaning. Store it safely. Seek professional grading because professional grading is critical for establishing authenticity, condition, and collector confidence. Patience creates wealth in the coin world. The people who rush often regret it. The people who preserve quality usually benefit the most. And if you think this wheat penny is shocking, wait until you see the next coin. What comes next is even rarer, even more mysterious, and far more dangerous to overlook. Some collectors spend years searching for it and never find one. Stay with us, because the next hidden treasure could make this coin look ordinary. Imagine finding a coin connected to one of the most dramatic years in American history and then discovering people are still spending it like ordinary pocket change. That's exactly why the 1942D Wheat Penny is so dangerous to ignore. While millions of people rush past old pennies every day, experienced collectors stop and look closer. They know that some coins carry stories, scarcity, and value that the average person never notices. If you have a 1942 wheat penny with a D mint mark, pay attention. Do not spend this coin. What looks like a simple copper cent could be hidden wealth sitting unnoticed in a forgotten jar, drawer, or family collection. This is not fiction. This is the kind of silent fortune that keeps collectors searching year after year. The year 1942 was unlike almost any other period in American history. The United States had entered World War II, and the entire nation was shifting toward wartime production. Factories that once focused on consumer goods were helping support military needs. Resources became increasingly important, and every part of the economy felt the pressure of a nation preparing for a long conflict. Coin production continued, but the atmosphere surrounding American manufacturing had completely changed. Every coin struck during this period became a small piece of a country facing enormous challenges. That historical connection alone gives the 1942D Wheat Penny a powerful emotional appeal among collectors today. Now take a close look at the coin itself. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln faces right with the famous inscription, "In God We Trust," arching above his portrait. To the left appears Liberty, while the date 1942 sits proudly on the right side. Directly beneath the date, you'll find the small D mint mark identifying production at the Denver Mint. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the iconic wheat penny reverse. Two wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above them appears E pluribus unum. Every letter, every design element, and every worn detail represents a piece of American history that has survived more than 8 decades. One reason collectors love this coin is its classic bronze composition. The 1942D Wheat Penny consists primarily of 95% copper, with the remaining 5% made up of tin and zinc. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures about 19.05 millimeters in diameter, maintains a thickness of roughly 1.52 millimeters, and carries a smooth edge around its entire circular girth. These measurements may seem ordinary, but to collectors, they are essential details. The rich copper composition gives the coin a distinctive appearance and feel that modern cents simply cannot match. Here's where things become truly fascinating. Fine condition examples are becoming increasingly difficult to locate because so many coins from this era spent decades circulating through the economy. They passed through stores, banks, cash registers, and countless pockets before eventually disappearing. Some were lost, others were damaged. Many were cleaned by well-meaning owners who unknowingly destroyed important collector value. That's why survival matters so much. Every original coin that remains today becomes more important as the years pass. Most people miss this detail completely, but experienced collectors understand that rarity is often created by survival rather than production numbers alone. Collectors are particularly obsessed with originality. A naturally preserved 1942D Wheat Penny often displays beautiful brown toning, subtle color variations, and an antique appearance developed over decades. Those characteristics tell a story. They cannot be manufactured or recreated. This is why one warning must be taken seriously. Never clean this coin. Cleaning removes originality, damages surfaces, and can permanently reduce collector demand. Original toning matters. Even dirt, darkness, and honest age can be more desirable than an unnaturally bright surface. The moment originality disappears, a piece of the coin's history disappears with it. Another factor driving excitement is the mint mark itself. That tiny D beneath the date creates an immediate connection to the Denver Mint during one of the most significant periods in American history. Collectors carefully examine strike quality, wheat ear detail, lettering sharpness, and surface preservation. Tiny characteristics that most people overlook can become major discussion points among serious buyers. This detail changes everything. A coin that appears ordinary to one person can become highly desirable to another who understands what to look for. Today, demand for historic wheat pennies continues to grow, while quality examples become harder to acquire. Many collectors build entire collections around wartime issues, and the 1942D holds a special place because it represents the final full year before major wartime metal changes affected cent production. Auction competition can become surprisingly intense. Some bidders remain silent until the final moments. Others pursue desirable examples aggressively. The result is a marketplace fueled by scarcity, history, and collector passion. In the market scenario we're discussing today, a fine condition 1942D Wheat Penny is associated with an auction value of $240. Zeroth. Think about that for a moment. A coin worth 1 cent at face value, potentially representing serious money. That's hidden wealth. That's a life-changing opportunity. That's exactly why people continue searching through old coin collections, estate boxes, and forgotten jars, hoping to uncover a treasure everyone else ignored. If you own one, check the date first. Confirm the D-mint mark. Examine the surfaces carefully. Never clean it. Store it properly. Seek professional grading, because professional grading is critical for establishing authenticity, condition, and collector confidence. Patience creates wealth in the collecting world, and rushing often leads to expensive mistakes. And if you think the 1942D Wheat Penny is impressive, wait until you see the final coin on this list. What comes next is even more shocking, even more valuable, and so dangerous to overlook that collectors dream of finding it. Stay with us, because the biggest hidden treasure is still ahead. And now we've reached the coin that many collectors quietly dream about finding, yet thousands of people have probably spent without a second thought. The 1940 Wheat Penny without a mint mark may look like one of the dirtiest, most ordinary coins hiding in circulation, but appearances can be dangerously misleading. In fact, the dark surface, worn details, and circulated appearance often cause people to ignore it completely. That's exactly why this coin remains one of the most fascinating hidden treasures in the Wheat Penny series. If you ever come across a 1940 wheat penny with no mint mark, stop immediately and examine it carefully. Do not spend this coin. What seems like a forgotten piece of pocket change could actually represent a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. To understand why collectors care so much about this coin, you have to travel back to 1940th America was standing at the edge of a historic transition. Although the United States had not yet entered World War II, global tensions were rising rapidly. Industry was expanding, manufacturing was accelerating, and uncertainty was spreading across the world. The coins produced during this era became witnesses to a nation preparing for enormous change. Every 1940 wheat penny carries a direct connection to that remarkable period. When collectors hold one today, they aren't simply holding a cent. They're holding a surviving artifact from a pivotal chapter in American history. Take a close look at the front of the coin. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln facing right, just as he had appeared on Lincoln cents for decades. Above his portrait, you'll find the powerful phrase, "In God we trust." To the left appears liberty, while the date 1940 is positioned on the right side. One detail immediately stands out to collectors. There is no mint mark beneath the date. That means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the famous reverse design that gave these coins their nickname. Two wheat stalks frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, while E pluribus unum appears above. Even after decades of circulation, this design continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. The physical characteristics are equally important. The 1940 wheat penny is composed of 95% copper, with the remaining 5% consisting of tin and zinc. This composition gives the coin its distinctive bronze appearance and rich aging characteristics. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures about 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and maintains a thickness of roughly 1.52 millimeters. Its smooth edge completes the circular girth collectors instantly recognize. While these specifications may sound technical, they help authenticate the coin and connect it to one of the most beloved periods of American coinage. Here's where the story becomes truly exciting. The example we're discussing today is in dirty circulated condition. Most people see dirt and assume damage. Experienced collectors often see something entirely different. They see originality. They see decades of untouched history. They see a coin that survived circulation without being altered by cleaning or polishing. The dark brown color, aged copper surfaces, and natural wear patterns can tell a story that collectors find incredibly attractive. This is why one warning cannot be repeated enough. Never clean this coin. Never scrub it. Never polish it. Never attempt to make it look new. Original toning matters. Once those original surfaces are removed, they can never be restored. The absence of a mint mark creates another layer of fascination. Philadelphia issues from this era attract enormous attention because collectors study every tiny detail. They inspect lettering sharpness, Lincoln's portrait, wheat ear definition, strike quality, and surface preservation. Tiny characteristics invisible to most people become major points of discussion among advanced collectors. This detail changes everything. A coin overlooked by one person can become highly desirable to someone who understands what they're seeing. What makes the 1940 wheat penny especially powerful is the emotional connection collectors feel toward pre-war American coinage. Every year, more examples disappear through damage, loss, corrosion, and improper handling. Meanwhile, demand continues rising. Many collectors refuse to sell quality pieces because they understand that supply keeps shrinking. Auction competition becomes intense whenever desirable examples appear. Quiet bidders suddenly become aggressive. Prices climb. Tension rises. That's the effect truly sought-after coins create. In the market scenario we're discussing today, a 1,940 wheat penny without a mint mark in dirty circulated condition is associated with an astonishing auction value of $260 zeroth. Imagine finding a coin worth that amount inside an old box, forgotten collection, or inherited coin jar. That's not spare change. That's serious money. That's hidden wealth. That's a life-changing opportunity sitting where nobody expects it. This is exactly why collectors continue searching through old pennies, one coin at a time. If you discover one, check the date carefully. Confirm the absence of a mint mark. Preserve the surfaces exactly as they are. Never clean it, store it properly. Seek professional grading because professional grading is critical for establishing authenticity, condition, and market confidence. Patience creates wealth. The collectors who understand preservation are often the ones who benefit most in the long run. Before you move on, remember this. Some of the greatest treasures aren't locked inside vaults. They're hiding in ordinary places, disguised as ordinary coins. The 1,940 wheat penny proves that appearances can be incredibly deceptive. What looks worthless today could be worth a fortune tomorrow. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt, don't leave yet. Somewhere in your home, there could still be coins worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars hiding in plain sight. Check your jars, check your drawers, check your inherited collections, and most importantly, never spend old coins before inspecting them carefully. Subscribe to Coin Goldmine USA, turn on notifications, and join thousands of collectors searching for hidden wealth every day. The next coin we uncover could be even rarer, even more valuable, and it might already be sitting in your pocket right now.